OGs are the ones who really made this. Groove high, long hair, Rastaman. Hit them in the remedy, bomb like bam bam. Bam bam dee da. Bam 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 bam. What's up, everybody? Hold on, clap your hands. Let me see you. And what you're doing right now? I'm trying to find this thing so I can lay my phone on top. All right, y'all. Let us cheese it. And then, and then, and then. One more thing. Shazam. Hey, what you want? Baby, I got it too. What's up, everybody? Today is a Monday. We in the building. We in the building. Hold on, we in the building. We in the building. Turn up, we in the building. All right, guys, today is going to be the pickup where we left off, which was last time we talked about 7 biblical principles of confidentiality and the importance of it. I think we went over 3 concepts last time. We talked about grounding. Grounding truth is godly, right? Like how the importance of like being truthful with yourself, being truthful with others, holding the truth, not sharing so much, how the importance is of that. And then we touched on part 2 of that, which was love covers and doesn't expose, right? And the importance of being around people that hold your secrets, man. It's not always meant for you to be, for them to share your stuff and for you to be sharing other people's things, right? And so just the importance of confidentiality, and we giving you basically like the biblical side of it, and we gave you about 3 weeks ago, we gave you a open viewpoint on the kingdom aspect, right, of like kingdomship and leadership, and how this concept has been throughout time, right, and how we still use them today in corporations and things like that. Like the law of confidentiality is definitely exercised among these platforms, right? So I believe we are on point number 3, and I believe we're going to just jump right into it. And then point number 3 is going to say confidentiality is protection, not concealment, right? All right, so confidentiality is protection, not concealment. What does that mean? This is Proverbs chapter 25, verse 9 through 10, basically breaks down. It says, in the heat of an argument, don't betray confidence, right? Word is sure to get around. Basically, if you're talking about people and stuff like that, it's going to come around. Karma's going to happen. Somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to feel some type of way, and it's going to leak out, right? We've seen many, many times of these scenarios panning out, whether if you were in it or whether if you were out of it and saw it on the outer realm, right? It's just a messy situation, and I've never been that type of person to want to get into it, and that's why I always kept my mouth shut. I never joined in these type of activities, right? It says no one will trust you, right? Because they seen how you work, they seen how you move, right? And they may be laughing, ha 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 ha, but they're like, well, if you're doing it to this person, you're gonna do it to me, right? And that's a very very bad characteristic to carry over into relationships, and people judge, man. And I feel like when it comes to my personality, personally, that is not a part of my characteristics. And I don't even want people to even portray me as that, right? I really get, and in the beginning, I used to get offended when people would assume certain things, but it was like, you just got to make sure if you're already coming from a place of cleanness and godliness, man, you don't really need to over explain. All you got to do is really say what you're going to say. Like, yo, man, no, I don't get into activities like that, and keep it as that and keep it pushing. Not try to necessarily sell the position of, I need you to believe me, because not all the time they need to. Sometimes they need to see your works, right? And no matter what you said, I was watching this game with my wife, long story short, yesterday on Netflix, right? And they got this game going on And you had this Indian person who's on they're not on teams or anything like that, but he's his characteristics was like a very nice person, things like that, right? And so he's standing on this this wooden piece, right? And so they all have three names. There's three of them. Long story, let me make this short and sweet. There's three of them, three like logs that they have to stand on the tip of. You know how the pirates would be like, go overboard? It's kind of like that, right? And so one said drop on the end of it, the other one said safe. There was two more that said safe. So long story short, he gets on the bad one. So he was able to choose first. He gets on the bad one and it says drop. So that means that you're gonna 3, 2, 1, you fall. Ah, right. And so the ideal is that these individuals ask him, right? So he's like, yo, so the one that you're on, is it safe or is it drop? And he's like, it's drop. And so he was being truthful and honest. He was like, yo, I don't want to lie. He was like, I'm gonna just be and let them make the decision at the end of the day. Long story short, he told the guy the truth and the guy didn't believe him at all. He was like, nah, I don't believe you, right? And long story short, he switched with him and ended up getting the bad one because they had the option to either switch with the individual that said that he was on a good piece of wood or not, right? And then he chose to switch with him, so he ended up getting the drop paddle. And he looked on there, he was like, "Damn, he was telling the truth. People gonna see by your work. So what type of person you are, what type of integrity you carry, right? You don't always need to explain it to them these concepts." Make sure you say bless me. All right. So that is Proverbs, right? I gave you a breakdown. Okay, I'm gonna give you a principle that goes with this. All right, keeping confidence is not about heeding wrongdoing, right? It's about handling it with wisdom and not exposure, right? Right. So there's a level of, like I was just explaining with this story that I gave you. There's a level of truth that you're gonna stand, and whether they believe you or not, man, it's really how you just stand in it, right? It's really how you know, like, okay, this is the type of person that I am, and I'm gonna stick regardless whether it benefits me or not, right? I don't need to persuade, I don't need to change, I don't need to manipulate, I don't need to do any of these things, because the way that I am set up and the way that I've cultivated myself is along these lines and principles, right? And thank you. And so this is point number 3. Confidentiality is protection, not concealment, right? Point number 4. God entrusts secrets in the righteous. Let that sit on you, man. Let that marinate. What does that mean? Right? You get entrusted with a vision, an idea, a thought, and you go spouting it to everybody, right? And you ain't even did the diligence of taking care of what the CEO has given you, right? And I want to put it in layman's terms of what I mean, because I was going to say king, but I just want to put CEO of a company, right? The CEO told you this was the next best thing, right? I need you to go work on this project, what we discussed. And then you start going around talking to everybody, but you ain't even did the first steps of why you got even hired under the CEO. Why you got hired? It was for you to execute the thoughts and the visions for the company, for the brand, for the organization, for the Inc. industry, whatever, right? Long story short, you get my gist. And you out here spouting it off. You out here telling people your ideas and your dreams because you excited and you want to see what other people's reactions are. And it's really at this point, it's like, it's not for you to do this. It's not for you to be sharing it so you can get a little hit of dopamine and see how people like your idea. And it's like, no, dude, do the work. Get intimate with the idea that you just gifted. Get intimate with what is the expansion of. What was the purpose, the reason why you received it, right? All right, so let's go dive a little deeper, right? It says Proverbs chapter 3, verse 23, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 32 says, the Lord detests the perverse, but takes the upright unto his confidence, right? What does that mean? It says principle that's given to it, right? God reveals mysteries to those who can keep his trust. If you're truthful with other secrets, God can trust you with his. Thank you. How you move forward in your day-to-day when it comes to your integrity, when it comes to your interactions with others.
We got a new subscriber.
Nice. When it comes to your interactions with others.
Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you for subscribing. What's up, Vlog family? What's happening? Happy Monday.
Are you good in the picture? You want more space?
I'm good.
Okay. So yeah. Well, since you're chiming in, I want you to
what?
Yebo.
How was that possible?
Yebo. You've been around town.
What the heck? That's right.
All right. So it says, we're on number 4 right now. Number 4 says, God reveals mysteries to those who can keep his trust. If you're faithful with others' secrets, God can trust you with his.
Yeah.
Right? How you show up and show out shows everything.
That's right.
Do you have any like insight on this?
Insight.
On how like you felt like you kept people's trust, or how you just moved in life, and how God kind of just like gifted you like by seeing your works, by seeing what type of person you're developing into. Has that transpired in your experience in life?
I've never seen it that way, but that's a very interesting way to look at it. I've never seen it in those eyes. However, I don't want to start thinking about it right now.
Okay, let's go to number 5.
So we can move on. Yeah, I've never seen it in the eyes of like God can trust you with this because you kept other people's secrets, so he can trust you with his secret. I've never heard it that way. However, if you say that the Lord, what did you say? I'm sorry, what was the first one?
It said God reveals mysteries to those who can keep his trust.
Yes, I could definitely comment on that. But let's move on to number 5.
All right, number 5. Do you got number 5? Go ahead.
Is this even fair, guys?
Yeah, you just got here. I did like 2 of them.
I just got here. I don't even know.
I did.
Okay, go up.
2.
It's okay.
I did 2 so far.
Confidentiality is a requirement of leadership. It is a requirement of leadership. And I would say that with that, Nezuko looks like she's crying. You see that? But I would say that with leadership, as a leader, like if you lead people, if you talk to people come to you and they tell you confident stuff, right?
Yeah.
They talk to you. They tell you they personal situations. They tell you about like what are they going through at home and so on and so forth. Let me say you're a leader at work. Or you a coach, people will tell you they what are they going through. So I don't think that if you are a leader, it's okay for you to take what people tells you and then go, tell someone else or say it on internet and stuff like that. I feel like as a leader, as a coach, as a manager, as a boss, you need to keep people's secrets. You need to prioritize confidentiality more than anything else, because someone coming to you and talking to you as a leader is because they know you're a leader and they know that you are capable of keeping their secret, whatever it is that they're going through.
Yeah.
Financially, emotionally, because it also is financially. People are going to tell you that, you know what, I'm going through this financially. Yeah. I'm going through this financially. This is what I cannot do financially. What do I do? And then you have to, open up and help them out. But you can't go to the other person at work or to the other person who you work with or your partner and say, oh, this is what's happening, with this person. She's like this because this is what it is. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I want to just finish off with Titus, right? Titus chapter 2, verse 7 through 8. It says, and you yourself must be an example.
And you
yourself must be an example. Let everything you do reflect the integrity and sincereness of your teachings, my guy, my boy, right? Principle. As kingdom leaders, mentors, and creators, how we handle private information reflects how we handle people. And God watches both.
That's true.
Let me just get off in this first aspect, man. I just want to break this down just a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? He says, and you yourself must be an example, so. My wife has spoken to me a couple of times when I was handling with our daughter, right? And there was and there was serious situations and scenarios where, I was being a little bit reactive in handling our daughter, right? And she was like, well, you tell us all the time. You tell us all the time, lead by example. Well, you got to do that right now for this situation.
Yeah.
And, it definitely brings me back to earth. It definitely grounds me back into, maybe I'm so involved in what's happening right now that I'm not able to see outside myself right now, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes you just need a reality check, right? And not taking it offensively when it's coming out, but sometimes you just need to, straighten the tie out, right? You know what I'm saying? Fix your tuxedo, And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And there's nothing wrong with what they call reset yourself, right? Right, resetting. And it's a good way to conduct yourself too as well. And it's also good to have people around you that can, do it gently for you, or not even gently. Sometimes it got to be raw and rigmarole, but sometimes you just need that check, okay?
Right.
It says, let everything you do reflect the integrity and sincereness of your teachings. This means the things that you study, the things that you incorporate, the affirmations that you apply in your day-to-day, the mindset that you're adopting, the journaling that you elevate, right? And the mentors that pour into you, right? All of these vortexes of information allows you to cultivate the characteristics, the principles, the values of oneself to walk and be amongst people, right? And
oh, that's good news.
That is awesome.
Great job, Hygiene.
High five.
Finally.
High five for her.
I was about to tell you about the Exam Queen on YouTube. I was about to tell you, but you were not here last week, so yeah.
Hip hip.
That was good.
Hooray.
That's good news. I love it.
Absolutely.
So
you deserve it.
So happy for you.
Yes.
You see, not giving up, because you could have gave up a long time ago. But here we are.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes.
So
God is good. God is so good. Yeah. Yeah, he is. And Sonny, it's like if you work the laws that God already has and made, you already just get the goodness of it. God doesn't necessarily intervene anymore because the laws are already there for you. And then if you don't know the laws, which is the law of learning, the law of studying, the law of execution, right? All these things that you've done to get those license, you just work the laws of God. That's all. And it just so happened to work for you, right? And that's the great thing about God. I was talking to my wife about something the other day, and we were talking about the more aware you become of the laws of God, because God is a God of laws, right? And it's not necessarily the 10 Commandments. People get kind of in a box and they think like all the laws that God created is the 10 Commandments, and they just be like there. And it's like, no, there's other laws. The 10 Commandments were just laws of mutual, or not mutual, I'm sorry. They were laws of building a kingdom.
Yeah.
Right? Moral laws is what I was looking for, not mutual. Moral laws. These are the laws that you would take when you are building a society. And if you look at today's life, you know, when you look at today's life, you look at America, you look at other countries, they go by these laws. They go by the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I mean, then you see the society is very not stable, right? But those are the moral laws of God, right? And God has divine laws, natural laws, and it's about becoming aware of all these laws, long story short. And so when you do that, you get the results of the blessings. And God is just like, good job. Keep following those laws. And they're going to take you all the way up to what my purpose is for you. You know? Okay. I think we are finished with point number 5. I was breaking it down. I forgot where I was at though.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That
integrity.
was me.
It's okay. Let everything you do reflect the integrity and sincereness of your teachings. And that was basically what I was left off with, was everything that you are acquiring along this journey to develop yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, and you are incorporating as your characteristics the values that you now have adopted, the principles that you are now practicing, right, are starting to cultivate the type of person that you either want to be or becoming, right? And as that is happening, you now have boundaries, right? That says, I can't do that because that goes against this new law that I've now placed in my life, right? And I have to have something to stand on. And this has to be my foundation. And if it doesn't, then I'm not being the version of this new character that I am cultivating to be, right? And so I like this. This says, as kingdom leaders, mentors, creators, how we handle private information
reflects on how we handle people and God. Watches God. God watches both. Yeah.
And handling people is a major thing. I think God very much so is all about the people.
Yeah.
The people is the foundation of all, right? That was the whole reason why the original intent of God was to come on earth and to bring forth the kingdom of heaven on earth and the culture of heaven on earth. But he needed the people to be aware of what that is. In order for them to be, the word that I'm looking for is when you invade a land and
you're welcome.
Influenced. In order for them to be influenced.
Bye.
See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Right, in order for them to be influenced over that territory. So, we on 8:25. Let's go ahead and knock it out the park, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, point number 6. Sometimes confidentiality must yield to accountability. That's basically what I was just talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The other point.
That's what I thought you were on number 6.
Nope. Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, sometimes confidentiality must yield to accountability. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15 through 17. Jesus outlines a process of confrontation, correction, and escalation. Right? Excuse me, sorry. Right? Here's a principle. If someone is in danger, harming others, or resisting accountability, it may be necessary to bring in a leader or support. It says with discernment and grace. Hey, man, what the hell? With the discernment and grace, right? Sometimes you need to call people out, right? And it's not in a necessary disrespectful way, but sometimes it needs to be done. right? I like the analogy that Dr. Miles Monroe was talking about in one of his seminars, and he was talking about a lot of people didn't condemn or let alone point out what the preacher was doing for certain communities, right, or certain um, environments.
Yeah.
And the preacher would be, you know, probably sleeping with somebody in the choir and things like that, and he got a wife and all this stuff like this, right? And people would know about it in the church, and they would still allow this preacher to go on stage and preach for them when knowing the truth. And it was like, he was saying that this is not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be calling him out, and he needs to step down. You need to basically tell, hey, yo, you need to hang up. You can't teach
Right.
us right now. You're not leading by example at all, sir. Right? And you are now painting an image in God's house of something that you're saying, but you're not walking in movement. And we need to call you out, and you need to step down. Right? We're not gonna let you preach. We're not gonna let you do none of this, man. You gotta go to God.
Yeah.
And I like how he was basically talking about it and basically just calling people out, man. My wife was talking about something that was yesterday from the game that we was watching, and one of the guys was like, yeah, he was like, so do you think what do you think about me getting kicked off the game? He was like, to be honest with you, man, you're unpredictable. My wife was like,
he was asking if are you gonna vote me out?
are you gonna vote me out? And the guy was truthful with him. He was like, yeah, to be honest, man, you're unpredictable.
Yeah.
Right? Don't know whether you're gonna float this way or the other way next week. You know what I'm saying? You're just too chameleon for me right now. So with those type of characteristics, you know, don't feel comfortable around you. And my wife said she appreciated how how men can be so straightforward and honest with certain things. And he's like, what's up, Fred? When dealing with women, everything's so secretive and smiley, and there's no truths, right? There's no truth. Everything is under the table. It really takes a woman with integrity to then show forth and be honest with women and not be moved by their emotions, right? Of, well, if I say this, she's gonna feel some type of way. Well, sometimes you gotta hear the truth, bro.
Exactly.
Like, and if you want to break it out, hey, look, what I'm gonna say right now is not gonna be try to be offensive to you. I just need to tell you the truth, and you can take it with a grain of salt or not. You know?
Yeah.
You just got to know how to finesse and say certain things, too, as well, to individuals. And you got to know how to pick your battles.
That's true.
Know how to pick your battles. If you're dealing with a man that's emotional, there's plenty of times where I had a scenario with an individual back in the day who was a very emotional individual, and I picked my times when I needed to say what I needed to say, regardless of how he felt.
Yeah.
You know, and I was really ruthless when it comes to that stuff, when it came to people like that, especially living in the same house and things like that. It was like, no, man, that's trash, bro. That's trash. Like, I'm gonna let you know right now. Like, that shit don't fly. Let me come in here and doing that shit. Yo, everybody got something to say, and as you should, because the characteristics that you're portraying right now is not what's up. It's not a team player. It's not a we. It's a you. And if it's you, then why don't you just get your own shit? So you don't have to abide by anybody. You can just do your own thing. Then you can go up and down in your roller coaster however you want.
That's right.
You know?
Let's move on.
Let's get your shit.
I'm so excited for number 7.
So excited for that. We're about to finish it all out today.
Yes. I mean, we're already on number 6. You want to keep just 1 point?
We got 2 points. We got on 2 points.
We don't. We got 1. What's the
Oh, dang. That boy fly through them things today. Fly. Okay, number 7.
Number 7 says...
It says number 7. We are stewards, not judges. It ain't your job to be out here judging individuals, man.
Yeah.
It ain't. I really do my best not to be sitting here judging. I deal with a lot of customer service in my lane, and I do my best to not. And sometimes I just have to be upfront and truthful. Like, I had an individual who, you know, entered on the bus, right? And they were like, yeah, such and such, man, I ain't got the fare. And I looked at him in his face. I said, bro, you knew you ain't had the fare? Because he was digging in the pocket like he was going to find something. I said, bro, you knew you ain't had the fare before you got on the bus. Don't try to play me, man.
Right.
Like, I'm looking right into your soul. Let's just be real. Let's just be real.
No judging.
Don't judge it. I just gotta call you out though,
We
man.
listen and we don't judge.
We
As
listen.
stewardess, if you are a manager, you listen and you do not judge. That's pretty much. That's what it is. If you are a leader, if you are a manager of something, you listen and you don't have to judge. And I like one thing about myself, that most of the time when I listen to people as a leader, I kind of reflect or relate. I relate from my past, because I feel like I've been there, you know, and this is how I can help you because I've been there. I mean, I haven't been in all the situations, but most of the time when I talk to people, I definitely relate.
So we got James chapter 4, verse 11 through 12. It says, who are you to judge your neighbor? Like, who are you to judge your neighbor? It's so crazy how they be talking. They be like, who are you to judge? Hey, look at them. All right. Anyways,
we were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah, it says who are you to judge your neighbor, right? When you've done wrong, when you've done things in the dark that no one knows about.
Yeah.
Right? Principle. When someone shares something in confidence, right? Your role is not to judge, fix, or expose. Your role is to listen, pray, and respond in love and wisdom.
Yeah.
Man, that's deep. That last part was deep.
It is. Pray.
Your role is to listen, pray, respond in love and wisdom. And to respond in love and wisdom. Right? I like that. That's something to really settle on, right? I should write that down. I think I do a good job of this a lot of the times. And I think sometimes I miss the mark.
Of praying, because praying is most of the, like, responding, yes, responding in wisdom and stuff like that, but praying is the most forgettable action, yes, to take.
Why?
I have no idea. I feel like it's easy for people who grew up already doing it. Like, if your parents was doing it, it's kind of like a belief to you that, you know, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then this is how it's done, because your parents teaches you how it's done. And people in church too, because they are in church. You're talking to someone in church, they definitely gonna pray, right? Because we are in church. But if one of your people come to you and say, hey, this is what I'm going through, da da da, you're going to respond with wisdom. You're going to respond, you're going to listen, but you're not going to pray. I feel like that's an action that I need to fix, I need to take, I need to remember all the time, you know. Okay, let's pray about that, you know. Oh, that's nice. I like it.
That's happy too.
It is. Yeah.
Listen, guys.
That was great.
The message of this whole Monday sessions was on confidentiality and the importance of getting wisdom, knowledge, and understanding within certain visions that God has for you. And it's about how you show up in life. Yeah. How you diligently are cultivating the type of person you want to be, the version of this character that you portray and that you wear every day, wear you see as that you wear every day, right? And how this character shows up, right? And is this a character of trustworthiness or a character of deceitfulness? Right? I'll tell you something. You know, I struggle with some things, right? I struggle with some things every now and then, right?
Sneeze.
Oh, achoo! Yeah, I struggle with some things every now and then, but at the same time, before I make a decision, before I get too deep into it, I definitely do a self-check. I do a self-check every single time. And it's like, is this how I want to show up, right? Am I saying that I quit now, or am I saying that I'm in for the win? And, you know, when I do that, you know, I make the right decisions at the end of the day, and I consult with God about certain things, and I ask for the Holy Spirit to lead me towards the wisdom and awareness that I need to acquire. What you doing?
I don't know.
Right now, I'll knock you out.
I'll knock you out.
But so with that being said, man, look, the way that you show up is very important, and it's the core of who you are becoming, right? And confidentiality is a practice, man. Don't be talking about people, man. Don't be sharing everything with everybody.
Yes, don't share everything with everybody.
Don't be talking. Don't be in those conversations where other people are like, "Yeah, you know what happened?" And
don't expose. Don't judge. Don't try to fix.
Confidentiality also goes within your workspace. You know how people be complaining about certain stuff that's happening in the company and things like that? I just had an epiphany just now. I was like, that's confidentiality too. You don't need to be with everybody else and explaining all the bad stuff that everybody else and all their complaints is doing.
Yeah.
You're not exercising confidentiality. You don't need to share that. Even if you feel a certain way about some things. Like, it's like, what we doing right now? What are we doing? Is this for the better? Like, are we making change right now by complaining about this? Like, are we about to do something, or are we just getting it out so we can vamp? It's like, that's not it. That's not confidentiality. And you're not doing anything. You're just wasting breath.
That's right.
And you're trying to relate to somebody else who got problems too. Shut the up. Right? Shut the dude up. Shut your mouth. You ain't talking about nothing. What you got? You about to do something right now about it? No, you ain't about to do nothing about it. Shut up.
Get out of here. You get out of here.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about it.
I was saying it's a good point. So, but what was I saying? I was saying that do not try to fix, do not try to judge, do not try to expose the person. What you need to do instead of those things is to listen, is to pray, is to respond in wisdom and love. Okay.
Yep.
So write that down, and make sure that
put it in your mind.
Put it in your mind, yes, and learn how to handle trust. Be a person who is trustworthy. Be a person who I can come to and talk to about my secrets, the things that I'm going through right now. Because most of the time people can't talk about what they're going through, and then they end up committing suicide because now they don't trust anyone. There's nobody to trust because everybody has something to say somewhere, everywhere they go. So I feel like this is very important, looking at the person's life and saving lives, because it's going to save lives. If people know that they can come to you and lean on you and say something that you're not going to tell anyone, that is the most powerful thing that you can do for yourself and for the other individual, because they're going to have someone to talk to. They're going to have someone to tell these secrets that they have, this thing that is heavy in our heart. I'm going to be able to tell this person without feeling like this person is going to expose me. This person is going to try to fix the situation, and this person is going to judge me.
You're a safe place.
Yes, you are a safe place. So become a safe place. I know most of the time safe places, we don't have places to go to. Okay, so it also is a work for you, and it also is your job to pray about it, because when you pray about it, you're taking it out, you're talking to someone. You know what I mean?
I got it.
So yeah, go ahead.
I just had an epiphany. We safe spaces do have a place. We safe places do have a place to go to, and what we are being a demonstration of is that. What was the word that I used earlier, just a couple minutes ago? When you were talking? Places? No, before that, when you was talking, and I was like,
you better drink your tea, because I do not know what you're
said. Did I say trustworthiness? Something like that.
I can't remember, baby.
Damn. Anyways, we are demonstrating. Yeah, it was safe place.
Oh, safe place.
Yeah, it was safe place. We're demonstrating a safe place through the power of God, right? You feel obligated that you can trust me, and this is a safe place because I'm emulating the energy of God, like energy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm close enough to the vibration of God, and that's why you feel comfortable enough to tell me about what's going on, and that's why you feel led to. And what we're demonstrating is that by you feeling that is that we do have a place to go to, and what we're exercising is our safe place, and who we talk to is God.
Right.
Right? We talk to the government, right? When we having issues, we go attend to the government. We say, hey, government, this is what's happening right now. These are the conditions. This is da-da-da-da. I want to just first off say that I'm thankful for you giving me these conditions, these problems to solve and come up with solutions with, because, you know, in this physical form, outside of this, I probably wouldn't have this assignment. I probably wouldn't have this then, and I would probably just be, you know, not being usable at this moment. And I'm glad that I have purpose, right? And so we're just demonstrating to these individuals who find us to be a safe place that where we come from, and to clarify again, we do have a safe place. And our safe place is getting more exercise, that God is the source. The government is the source of safe place. The government is the source to share those thoughts and ideas, and because they come from that direction anyway. Right? And it's just about communicating in a different way. And like, when I've interacted with people who can't speak, I know. When I've interact with people who can't speak and they do sign language and things like that, or stuff like that, or they speak a different language, I don't have to speak the same language. I can communicate energetically and they get what I'm saying. And same for them.
Yeah.
Right? And I've watched it happen so many times to where I'm like, dude, there's so many different levels of communication that there's just exercising of getting better at it.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a level of communicating with God. And you just got to exercise with getting better at it. Getting better at it. And being a seeker, like, I really want to know how to get better at it. And if you're not having that energy of, I really want to know how to get better, then of course you're going to be where you at, and you're going to stay where you at.
Yeah.
Because everything involves attention, and intention.
Ooh. That's it right there.
That wasn't me, yo. That wasn't me. That just came out of the woodworks, bro.
That's right.
Yay.
That's it, you guys. We love you. Stay mindful. And don't betray people. Keep people's secrets. Pray. Listen. And most of all, respond in love and wisdom. We'll see you next Monday at 6 a.m. Central Time. Okay. At 8 a.m. Oh my God, at 6 a.m. Wow. At 8 a.m. Central Time.
We're rising up like, put them in the coffin.
At 8 a.m. Central, we'll see you guys next Monday. We love you. 8 a.m. to 8:30. We love you, and stay blessed.
Stay locked in. Hey, look, the lock. You see the lock? Stay locked in. God vibes only, yo. Stay blessed by the best.
Peace
We
and
catch you on the other side.
love.